My name is Kelly Cox, and my son is Grant Cox. Grant played with United back in high school, and we met James, I guess, our summer of our sophomore year. And my son was one of those, like his dad, who was a late physical developer, one that wasn't getting a lot of attention. Left-handed pitcher, good athlete, plus arm, good athletic motion, free and easy delivery and arm action. And I think James was one of those guys early on that saw potential in Grant. I think these days one of the issues that I have with recruiting is that it's very easy for people to pick out the men at 15, those early developers, those kids that are physically gifted when they're freshmen and sophomore and almost fully mature. They're easy to pick out. Everybody knows that they can play, but it's the ability to see those kids that have potential and that have the ability to get there. And James saw that in Grant. James is one of those guys that tells you the truth. And in this business, I often say that I could write a book about this, because went through it for probably 10 years between both of my boys. And there's not a lot of people out there that will tell you the truth. And what I would say is that seek out those truth tellers, those men or women that will tell you like it is and tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Because that's what happens a lot in this business is everybody wants to, all the kids want to get in with the in group and the hot team or the hot organization, and they'll take your money, but what will they do for you? I can tell you that James is all about relationships with coaches all over the Southeast. These coaches know him, and they know what he does for these kids. They know that he means what he says. They know that he is a talent evaluator. And they know that when he tells them something, that they can take it to the bank. And that's really what you need. If you have somebody who is forthright and honest with you, and somebody that's going to tell you where he thinks your kid can play and where he thinks your kid needs to be. Like my kid out of high school, he wasn't ready to play at a 4-year school. So he committed to Angelina in Lufkin, Texas, and was there for 2 years, and without question the best thing that could have happened to him. He had a few mid-major offers out of high school, and I think he was a very mature senior and knew that he wasn't where he wanted or needed to be. And those 2 years at a junior college not only made him a better and more well-rounded and complete pitcher, but made him a lot more mature as an individual and the whole mindset, which is so critical for that position, that position of pitcher. So after 2 years at Angelina, he went on and committed to UL Lafayette, and has had a good career. He's on schedule to graduate later this year, and it's been a good experience. So started back with United and James and his organization, and just can't say enough about James Gamble. The guy cares about kids. He's passionate about what he does. He is a tireless worker, and people that know him just know that when he lays it down, that they can count on what he says. And that's really all you can ask for, because in this recruiting business, it's a lot different than it used to be. A lot of people go by word of mouth, and social media is so big and so relevant, and distorts a lot of the facts. So he's there, he sees your kid. He was at games in Lufkin watching Grant throw and watching his progress. He doesn't just get your son placed somewhere, but he's there, and he's following his progress. He's keeping up with him, and it's a relationship that I don't need James anymore, but we've gotten to be friends. I have turned a lot of my friends whose kids are younger on to James. I've introduced him to him. Funny thing is there's been many of my friends whose kids were in other organizations and would come to me and say, we're not getting any attention. We're not. We were hoping that these folks would help us find a place or help him get recruited, and the coach won't even take our calls. Or when we're at a park, he'll and he sees us near, he'll turn and walk the other way, or he'll pick up his phone and pretend he's talking on the phone. I've been there and I've seen that, and that's the reality. So you can play that game, and I know a lot of you watching this will say, well, that worked for your son, but my son's different for this reason or that reason. But I'll tell you, if your kid, by the time he's a sophomore or junior, if he's not one of those high flyers or high achievers, then but he's got potential, this is the kind of guy you want to be associated with. He will tell you the truth. He'll look you in the eye and tell you, I think your son can play, but in order to get from point A to point B, these are the things we need to do. And this is what he's got to do to get to the level that he wants to be at and that you want him to be at. So anyway, I would say unequivocally that I endorse James and the United organization, and have and will continue to send people his way. It's been effective for us. It's been a good situation. He helped Grant. He's helped other of my friends' sons, and that's what he does, and that's what he lives for, and I'm very grateful for that.